Hello, this is Lee Clendenning. I am broadcasting to you from my home office. We took an introductory video last Tuesday over the syllabus calendar and the like, and it did not record due to my incompetence. I'm a lot better at it now, I hope. So I decided to redo the video and record it to help anybody who has added in and who might still be confused about where everything is. I intend to show the syllabus, the calendar, D2L, WebAssign, and maybe work a few problems at the end. I'm going to try to keep these videos to about 30 minutes. Could run over. And then I intend to distribute it by email and to let you know about it and post it in D2L. So we'll start with the syllabus. This is Pre-Calculus Online, Fall Semester 2020. My name is pronounced Mr. C. Office 142, but I won't be there or at the office phone. You can always contact me by email. Drop ad is this week. Drop day is October 9th. And our final exam will start, the week of it will start 11:30. We'll give out more instructions, but you'll have a couple days to look over it and a deadline to turn it in. Well, shouldn't have spoke too quick about being okay, here we are. There we are. Okay. Required text. Run trigonometry. Stewart, Redlin, and Watson, 4th edition. Supplementary text. See the library resources. Course description. Course objectives. Method of instruction. Again, in just trying to cover as much as I can and keeping this short, I'll let you read through all this. Course calendar, we start with chapter 4, which is a repeat from Math 11:11, logs and exponentials. And it's policy, very important to check in and submit the first assignments on time. Those first two assignments are going to be, first one, syllabus quiz. When you answer the syllabus quiz, I will mark that as an attendance event. And you need to post to a discussion group. That's under discussions in D2L. I don't care what you post. I really don't pay any attention to discussions, but I will be looking for your email address. If you just log in, leave your email, I will mark you as attending. All right. There are policies at UNG about how many times you can take a single class. You're allowed 3 times to take a class. After 3 W grades, they make you go somewhere else. And when you submit the required, when I submit the required roll report, if anyone hasn't done those first 2 activities and I turn them in as non-attending, you will be assigned a W, which counts on one of your 3 attempts. For grades this semester, one of the tests will be proctored, but I don't know which one, because I have to fight for time on a schedule. But we will announce which one is proctored, whichever, that's our proctored event for 30%. The rest of the tests will be non-proctored. WebAssign homework is 20%, the quizzes are 20%, final exam is 10%. If there's any bright side to this, for 32 years, I've had to count final exams between 25 and 33% of your grade, a quarter to a third. This semester only, because the final exam will be non-proctored, they are letting me go down to like 10%. If you wind up in the 90s, you get an A, 80s a B, 70s a C, etc. It is very important to keep up with the assignments. If you fall behind, it is very difficult to catch up. All right, so there's all kinds of standard information from the school about all these things: academic success programs, students with disabilities, academic integrity, etc., disruptive behavior, class evaluations, you'll be able to evaluate me at the end, academic exchange, Inclement weather, don't usually have too much problem with that in the fall. 3 years ago, September 11th, 2017, we had Hurricane Irma. Shut us down for half a week, but barring that, hopefully we won't have any weather events. And you can see what are the different types of course grades you could get in any single class at UNG. They list them all here. Okay, we'll jump onto the calendar. And I have listed on the calendar the generally two sections we cover every week. We will send out the assignments on Monday, except of course for Labor Day week. We will pull assignments from the book, web assign problems. There will be a quiz over the book problems every Friday. We're going to have 5 tests, one of which will be proctored, and we will announce that later. You will receive your grade instantly when you submit the form on the tests. So we got 4.1 and 4.2 this first week, 4.3 and 4.4, then just one section on 4.5, the 31st. And test 1, September 4th. Then charge into chat. Okay, now we're starting off with 2 sections. So then we just charge into trig, and these sections are action-packed. So we're looking at 1 section a week, test 25th. Get 2 tests in before drop day. Then we finish chapter 6, test 3, October 16th. Then charge into chapter 7, test 4, and test 5. Finally, again, at any bright spot, we ordinarily go into the second week of December, but they're ending this early. November 30th, and we will give you the instructions. You'll generally have a couple days to look over the final exam, and then the deadline to submit your form for the answers. Okay, when we list this calendar, we're listing the work for these sections due this weekend. As a general rule, they're due the following Sunday night. Let's see if we can get into D2L. Okay, whoa, here we are. Okay, screen sharing style, let's try again. All right. When I get into D2L, you go to the school webpage, ung.edu/myung. You go over to Distance Ed. First option under it is D2L. If you've never done it before, you have to do a search for your class. If you're searching for this class, you'd enter Math 1113, Fall 2020. Should pull the class up. You'll want to pin it. You should see 3 dots. It should have an option to pin. Since mine is already pinned, mine says unpin, but in the case, pinning it pulls it up when you instantly enter D2L, so you don't have to search for it every time. So you'll have other classes, and if you're only taking one math class, presumably, then this is the only one that'll appear, or the only math class that'll appear. So you click on it. So here is the home page. It should look identical to yours for this class. I pretty much ignore everything up here, except for the word content. I click on that 99% of the time. Discussions is where you'll go to post your little post for discussion for that attendance event. I click on the word content, and I have posted material under overview. And I've got a fairly lengthy kind of introduction where I'm trying to explain everything we're going to do in the class. Read through it. Nothing under bookmarks, nothing under course schedule. And table of content includes a bunch of other junk down, so I kind of ignore it. All right, so the very first week is Module 1 and Module 2. Under Module 1, I have an online course introduction. And I made a little video about how to get into D2L. You're welcome to view it. It's only like 7 minutes long. And as usual, things take forever to load out of D2L, which is why I am not a big fan. So I'm not going to wait for that to happen. Then you come down and it has the syllabus that I just showed you, calendar I just showed you, syllabus quiz, blank questions. This is where the question forms are. So it's a Word document, it'll load much quicker. So this is where the problems are. Actually, they're statements off the syllabus. The statements are either true or false. You will not answer here. You will enter true or false capitalized on the Google form. So you don't answer here. I've got no way to collect responses in this. You'd have to scan it in. I'd have to grade it, mark you right or wrong, rescan it and send it back. I got 140 students. It's just way, way too time consuming. So here's where the questions are though. Back up. You enter your answers on a Google form, and I put the Google form right here, syllabus quiz Google form for responses. And so this is a link to that Google form. You will enter your email address. I only accept school emails. And you will literally type true or false, exactly what I've written here. True or false, capitalize the first letter. For example, answer first couple. Let's say number 1 is true. I haven't really paid attention. Let's say number 2 is false. If you go down to the bottom, I'll submit it. Oh, demanding an email. I'll go down, I'll submit. You can view my score. And it's giving me a 20. Turns out I got both correct. Number 1 was true, number 2 was false. So it gave me 20 points. And it marked the rest of them wrong because I did not answer them. So if you want to resubmit your answers, I will, at this stage of the semester, I will only record the highest grade when you resubmit your answers. We're going to follow this format for the quizzes and for the tests. There will be a test form, and you'll answer on a Google form, true or false. The problem is correct. Did I work it right? Did I not work it right? All right, let's back out. That completes Module 1. And also this very first week, you will then go to Module 2. So Module 2, I put the problems for this week for both sections, Section 4.1, Section 4.2. These are practice problems. I'm not taking them up. I've got no way to do it. You have to, again, work them out, scan them into me. Over 4 classes, way too much work. But the quiz at the end of the week will be based on these problems. Okay. So we will also be working on WebAssign problems. So I put in a document to access WebAssign. All right, you go to a browser, webassign.com, put in the key, class key that I have published. Everybody, personal study plan might be toward the middle or bottom of the screen. You'll find chapter 4, 4.1 exponential functions. There's a practice quiz on the same line over to the right. And you only work the problems that I specify. You don't usually have to do them all. So where are those problems? Let's see. Under the 4.1 and 4.2 WebAssign assignment. So the WebAssign assignment is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8. I skipped problems 6 and 7. And skip 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I skipped only number 2 and 4.2. Problems I skip are just going into stuff I don't want to get into, and shortens it up just a little bit. Now this gives 14 total problems. You work, say, problem 1, you submit at the bottom of the page. You'll go to the very bottom of the page, you submit it. It'll tell you if problem 1 is right or wrong. If it's right, great, go to the next one. If it's wrong, then you can figure out what you did, or go to the next one and go back and rework it later. But you can resubmit as many times as you want. At the end, if you get them all right, like if you get all 14 out of 14, you can tell me 100%. If you only get 12 out of 14, 86%. You report that on a Google form, but it's not true or false. The Google form is right next to it. Google form for, this Google form for answers. And you will tell me, again, enter your email address so I can identify you. You only accept school emails. And then you will give me the percent out of 14, percent out of 14. If you got all 14 out of 14, tell me 100%. I think you just enter the number 100. If you got 12 out of 14, I think it said 86%. Tell me 86. Okay, the last assignment for the first week is quiz 1. And what I've done is pick 5 problems from each section, and I have worked them out. But I worked some correct and I worked some incorrect. So I've worked them out. Some correct, some incorrect. So the idea is to look over this, and basically you can grade me. And you can decide, did I do it right or did I do it wrong? There's 10 problems, 5 from each section. I give you the page number and the problem number. All right, again, you don't write your answers here. Go back, there's a Google form for the answers. You'll enter your email address and you will literally type, if you decide I did problem 1 correctly, you literally type the word true, capitalized. True. Okay, and I'll enter 5. I haven't really looked at it, so I'm just randomly entering this, but this is the form. Literally, I've shown you what word to type. Capital true, capital T, false, capital F. You can submit at the bottom. Oops, it wants my email. Submit at the bottom. View score. And dadgum, I got number 1 right, but I got number 2 wrong. Doggone. Okay, so right now I have a 10, but at this stage of the semester, you can resubmit, and we will only record the highest grade. This is all the activities for week 1. Let me show you a couple other things out of D2L, and then I'll show you WebAssign if you need to see it. All right, So at the moment, I have loaded all this stuff in, and then the school loaded in a template. It begins here at start here, and it ends at finish here. Between start here and finish here is all school-related material, and the huge number thing is 238 items on the course for the entire course. You can look through it. It is organized section by section. I found a few videos in it. If you find it helpful, help yourself. I'm going to totally ignore it and not put anything between start here and finish here for myself. But you're welcome to look through it, use anything you find helpful. So the rest of my course material is going to be loaded below this, and I have one link here at the moment. This is where I've put the links to the Zoom meetings. And we managed to record one last August 21st. It was Friday's Zoom meeting. I'm doing this one to make up last Tuesday's Zoom meeting. And I'll post it here as well. So that is all I have done in D2L, and more material will be added. It will be added again at the bottom of column 1. Let me click on WebAssign. And let's see if this is a better link. Yes, so if you hopefully know how to log into WebAssign, I left that instruction sheet in D2L. You should, when you click on your course, down toward the middle of the page, you find Personal Study Plan. Brings up every chapter. Chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 are college algebra, but we're starting in chapter 4. That's our overlap with college algebra. And so if I click here, we are going to work on the practice quizzes. So our very first two for this week were practice quizzes for 4.1 and 4.2. Practice quiz. And so I didn't write down the assignment, can't remember, but you enter your answers here. Whatever I assigned off, again, I don't think I signed them all. I think I skipped some. But you can go to the bottom and submit all questions, and it will tell you. It's a green check if you got it right and a red X if you didn't. Okay, that was due this week. And practice quiz for 4.2 was due this week. Same idea, you only have to work the problems. The reason for that is so I can leave some off, not get into some problems that I don't want to get into. But again, that screws up the grading at D2L. You can tell if it thinks your problem is right or wrong, again, by submitting at the bottom and seeing the green check or the green or the red X. And you can resubmit until you get them right. Okay. Let's do my last activity. I believe I did a couple of problems from 4.1. So I am going to switch to my setup where I can work problems in front of you. I have set up my iPhone as sort of a document camera. I can write on a pad underneath it. Let's see if I can switch to that. Share. Okay, iPhone, iPad, share. Okay, may have to put this down. Okay, back to camera. Okay, I'm back. So this is my setup to work any problems you want to see in front of you. I can show you the book under this. The first set of homework problems are on page 372. I could show you, I guess, this off the ebook, but I believe we started at problem 7. And the problems were listed again in D2L. Just to get you started, let's go to problem 7. Start off with some calculator exercises. So these are off page 372. Problem 7. They give you f of x, 4 raised to the x. They want you to find f of a half, f of square root of 5. Man, I have to do all of these. F of negative 2, f of 0.3. So these are the x's, and it's just a matter of punching them in, and they become the powers here. So when it says evaluate f of a half, I literally go 4 to 2.5 power. Now, if you want to punch that directly, go ahead. You may recognize that 1/2 power is a square root, and the square root of 4 is 2. You can do it either way. If you punch it on the calculator, you would go 4, the exponent button looks like this caret, and you'd put your 1/2 in parentheses, unless you want to punch it as 4 raised to a 0.5 power. Convert it to a decimal. So that could be done in your head or on the calculator, but the next one, f of square root of 5, unless you're an absolute genius, you're going to need your calculator. You mean 4 raised to the square root of 5 power. So when I punch that, four raised square root of 5 power, a little better, 22.194. All right, hopefully you'll get the idea. You can punch the rest of them. Give you a few more down there. All right, let's go to the next page. It gets a little more complicated over there on page 373, problem 27. Okay, it says graph g of x, 2 to the x, subtract 3. All right, to graph, number 1, enter your formula. Hopefully you did some graphing on these things in college algebra, but just to remind you, you enter your formula y equals menu. Number 2, enter a window. The window screen reads x min, x max, x scale, y min, y max, y scale. For non-word problems, we usually start with a standard window like this. That outlines the screen along x, negative 10, 10, tick marks 1, and y, negative 10, 10, tick mark 1. And then number 3 is you press graph. All right, so let me see if you can see that. I go to y equals. I've got a formula entered. I'm just going to clear it off, or I could have entered it down the page. And I'm going to go 2 raised to the x, subtract 3. There's my formula. Okay, I then go to window. And I got a crazy window in. So I go negative 10, 10, 1. Oh boy, got to get down. Negative 10, enter, 10, enter, 1, negative 10, 10, 1. This is such a standard window. Actually, you can do it quicker with Zoom 6, I believe. Let me show. I'll stick in some crazy numbers. 3, 5, 8, etc. Okay, if you want to get back to that negative 10, 10, 1, if you go to Zoom, Zoom standard. So I just hit 6. Actually, it's going to graph it, but if you look at the window, it quits here. I'm back at negative 10, 10, 1. It entered that window and did the graph. So yeah, Zoom 6 is a quick calculator trick for it. All right, so it drew this graph. Exponentials generally have this kind of sweep, straight exponentials. Let me just compare it to 2 to the x. This is going to shift it down 3. If you remember your shifts from college algebra, this is taking 2 to the x and shifting it down 3. So let me kind of show that. I'm going to put on 2 raised to the x. I'm just going to graph both. So 2 raised to the x approaches the x-axis as an asymptote, as y equals 0, horizontal kind of line. It's an asymptote's a horizontal line. It's approaching but not touching. 2 to the x approaches y equals 0 here, which is the x-axis as an asymptote. It goes through an intercept of 1 and then rises like this. This is going to be this graph is now shifted down 3. So let me see if I can write that down and show you. So straight 2 to the x go like this as your y-intercept equals 1. And that is in effect because x is 0, 2 to the 0 equals 1. Any zero power automatically is 1. So when I go 2 to the x, I'm going down 3. That means this intercept shifts down 3, literally. 1, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So from here, maybe I'll just use the paper lines. 1, 1, 2, 3. All right. From this point, it'll rise exactly like this. But notice how this asymptote is always 1 unit below this intercept. That's an absolute rule. This asymptote is 1 unit below this intercept. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line, and it's going to approach that line. If I just draw it willy-nilly over here, you won't see that, and it's incorrect. So that's what the calculator graph is trying to show you here. It's going horizontal, and the intercept is 3 below this intercept. They now want 3 things off of this: domain, range, asymptote. Domain is your x min, comma x max. All exponentials sweep, they have no problem. And in fact, there's no problems with them. You can take 2 to any number. So these go from to negative infinity to positive infinity. You can also say all real numbers. Your range is y min, y max. Well, there's no y max. This is going up forever. Well, that is going to infinity. I'm using interval notation here from college algebra. I hope you remember your interval notation. But there is a boundary or a stop on the y this way. Now, it is not hitting -3, but it doesn't go below -3. So it starts at -3, and notice -3 off the formula. It's the same thing. And it doesn't cross or equal -3. So again, we're using a parentheses here as well. Range, think vertically. Domain, think horizontally. The asymptote is your full equation. The line it's approaching, horizontal lines are always y equals, and this one is -3. Okay, that was pretty much what I remember working on the first class that didn't get recorded. I don't know if anybody's watched this video this far, but in any case, I'll try to end these at 30 minutes or so, because beyond that, the files do get almost too large, or takes way too much time to upload them. So I'm going to end this video. I'm going to email you the link to it in case anybody's having trouble getting started and accessing all our stuff. And I am going to also post it in D2L. If anybody watched this to the end, thank you for viewing it, and we will end the meeting. Thank you.